Hi and welcome in this video. Today I will talk about 3 ways or 3 ideas how to become a better photographer.
My name is Benjamin Jaworskyj, photographer and adventurer. 10 years ago, I started to teach myself photography. Today, I travel the world as a professional photographer and filmmaker. Learn from my experiences, mistakes and tips and join me on my photography adventures.
A lot of people ask me, how can I be a better photographer? How can I improve my skills? And I thought about that, and I have 3 ideas from my experiences that I want to share with you, and hopefully you get a better photographer with this. Number 1 is specialize in one field of photography. And I know it's quite hard because as a beginner you might think, that is interesting, maybe portrait, and then you see something about macro and you might say, oh, macro is pretty interesting, and then you see something about naked women, and then you say, oh yeah, naked women are quite interesting. And then you see something about naked men and you say, oh, naked men are quite more interesting. No, just kidding. But maybe they are actually. And that's not a bad thing, but you should specialize in one field to become better at that field. In my case, for example, I'm shooting landscapes now for 5 years. So I specialized 5 years ago in shooting landscapes, which does not mean that I not sometimes shoot wildlife as well or do some portrait, but mainly I do landscapes. And even though I do it now for 5 years and the whole photography thing for 10 years now, I still learn new things every day when I'm out photographing. Even though I'm photographing for 5 years only landscapes, and you might think, how boring can that be? Sitting in front of a rock or at a lake and just doing the same thing over and over. But because you do the same thing over and over, you actually improve, you practice your skills. Because most of the times you think it's very good to know a lot in different fields, but you can only improve, like say in the gym, you want to pump up your biceps, then you don't do like leg training. You skip leg day to get a bigger biceps because you do that practice and you do like that practice, you do like that practice, and you do like maybe that practice. So each of the practices is only for biceps, but it will make it bigger and stronger. And usually I don't learn new things like new techniques when I'm out there, but I learn things about weather, how to read the weather, which weather is good for which kind of landscape photography. I learn about perspective a lot and still today, and that's actually how you get better and better and how you master photography, or how to become a master of photography, when you just try to improve in one field, because you won't have that much time to be good at everything. So yeah, it's quite logical, like with fitness, like with a restaurant, like with business in usual. When you specialize in one field, you usually get a lot faster, a lot better in this field. Number 2 is look at the work of other people and try to copy it. And what I mean with that is, when you have a lack of inspiration maybe, or you're just a bit dismotivated, then just go on the internet, on Flickr, 500px, Google image search, or just look at your favorite Facebook page of your favorite photographer. Take a look at the images you want to be as good as maybe, or on Instagram or whatever, and then analyze these images. And write down what you like about these images and how you think those images are made and what is so special about these images. And then comes the important step, then you try to reproduce those images. You can, of course, when you like a landscape photographer, or you want to, you look up to my work maybe and you say, I want to do like the same things, then you have to travel to all those destinations, but you can even make it in a smaller amount. Maybe you just like the colors, or you like a long exposure, whatever. And then you adapt those things that you wrote down and like about an image or about an artist, and then you try them out for yourself with your own equipment and your own gear and the own possibilities you have. It's not about being the next Benjamin Jaworskyj or being the next whoever you admire in the internet. It's about finding yourself, your own style and your own creativity, but you can find yourself and your own creativity in trying to reproduce images you see in the internet. So first there's the inspiration, then you make an adaptation, and then you make a variation of this with your own taste, because maybe you don't like mountains. You see a photograph and you say, oh, those are such great images, I like the colors, I like everything, I like the post-processing, but I don't like mountains. Maybe because you live at the sea and you have more sea. So you adapt actually the style, but in your own thing. So you make a variation of this. And that will make you a good photographer, because it gives you an understanding how things actually work and how you can adapt those things with your own style, gear and taste. And the last idea, number 3, is try to photograph in the manual mode and even try to focus manually. And actually you don't get an award for being the best manual photographer in the world or the best manual focuser in the world. Nobody cares about that. If you have a client or if you just do it for yourself, nobody will say, well, you're so amazing how you manage everything manual. Nobody gives a shit about that. But it's a good way to understand how the camera works in different situations, like in low light, like with no flash, with an open aperture, with a closed aperture, how the image then works, how you get maybe blurry images, how it's more shaky, how it's harder to focus, how it just works, how the image gets more blurry in the background or sharper in the background, how close you can get to a subject. Everything of that you will only learn when you actually photograph manually, because then you have to set everything yourself. And it might be quite confusing in the beginning, but that's why I will do next year a lot of videos about manual photographing. Don't get me wrong, there's nothing bad about shooting in an automatic mode or in a semi-automatic mode like AV, TV or ISO auto. I use it sometimes as well, but I choose that. And it's not like, that's what my car driving teacher always said, it's not like the car is driving you, but you driving the car. And it's the same with photography. It's not the camera driving you, it's you actually not driving but handling the camera. And as well, when you then go back to the car, when you learn everything manual, which you learn here in Germany, you can do auto clutch thing as well, and I have an automatic car as well because I just like it and I'm lazy. But when you know how shifting works, then you know it on an automatic car as well. For example, when I go down a hill, then I shift gears manually, because then my automatic transmission will do just bullshit, like 6th gear, 7th gear down the hill, 120 kilometers per hour. Makes no sense. But then I can go manual, shift, lower gear, and then use my engine brake or something. And yeah, just know what I actually do when I handle my camera or my car. Those were 3 ways or ideas how you can improve your photography, how to become a better photographer. And if you have other ideas, then just write it in the comments below. And we are going straight to the 100,000 subscribers on this YouTube channel. I really look forward for that and want to say thank you for all of my subscribers so far. And if you haven't, do it now, it's for free. Just hit the red button there, subscribe, and you won't miss any of my videos. In the next year, I can tell you, there will be a lot of great videos about photography, about landscape photography in general, and yeah, I really look forward for that as well. So see you in the next video, and bye-bye.